Hello, everyone. It is Mark with Dine.digital, and you're tuning in to this episode of The Dish, where we have amazing conversations with amazing people and restaurants. And has been our joy to do that throughout the year. And we'll be introducing another one of our guests in just a moment. As far as what we do on a regular basis, though, is help restaurants with their marketing in many different areas. But today we will be speaking with a new friend, Brad from Blood and Sand Restaurant, located in St. Louis. How are you doing, Brad?
I am doing okay.
Excellent. He is masked up and being safe, so we're glad to see that. And we're going to find out a little bit about what Blad. I guess that's a combination of your name and the restaurant. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but it has today. But really, we want to know more about Blood and Sand than anything else. So tell us about your story.
Yeah, so Blood and Sand came into creation about 9 years ago. We were originally a private club, members only. About a little over 2 years ago, we opened to the public. And that was mainly driven because Monday through Thursday, we're located in downtown St. Louis. So Monday through Thursday, most of downtown is centered around business travel. And with us being members only, we were really not capitalizing on the travel that was happening in the region. So we decided to open up to the public Monday through Saturday. However, it was much harder to get a table in here on Fridays and Saturdays as it is now without a reservation. And so we've been continuing that model up until today. And nothing seems to be changing. You know, we all know kind of the environment that everyone is existing in. So we've definitely made some pivots and made some changes based upon needs, desires of the community. Blood and Sand is a restaurant that is swanky. And we offer things like our hashtag is everything you never knew you loved. So we really want people to come in here and experience something outside of the norm, and have an experience that maybe is more akin to New York or Boston or DC, Portland, Seattle, some of the larger markets here in the United States, all while still representing what we believe is tried and true in St. Louis, and that is individual hospitality and providing wonderful one-on-one care to each and every guest that comes in.
That's good stuff. Now, how about yourself? How did you get started in the industry?
So I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, originally out of the New York market. I've traveled all around the country opening various bars throughout my career. Moved to St. Louis a little over 7 years ago, almost been 8, hard for me to believe. And I've always loved the hospitality business, was always looking for a home. I ran a few bars here, consulted on a few other bars here in St. Louis. And then the opportunity presented itself for me just to pick up a few shifts here at Blood and Sand and just kind of keep my creative juices flowing, because I really wasn't making a lot of cocktails at the time. I was doing more of the administrative work, and I didn't want to lose that touch. And then kind of one thing led to another, and I took over the bar program here. And one thing led to another, and I became the general manager. So currently I'm managing the beverage program as well as general managing the restaurant.
Good deal. A varied experience, as we can tell there, with lots of different things you've been involved with. So that's great. As far as you've given a little bit of a taste of what it's like, but tell us a little bit more for what the customers can expect when they come to your place.
So first of all, we're hidden. So there are no signs on the outside of the building. There is one small plaque right before you get to our rotating door, as you would maybe expect in a hotel, but here in a restaurant. You enter and there's chandeliers galore, lots of granite, beautiful hardwood floors, and you enter right at the bar. And really the previous owners that owned this spot really wanted the bar to be the stage. So wanted everyone in the entire restaurant to be able to see the bar. And you can see what the dining room looks like behind me. So anyone sitting in the dining room, unless you're in one of our private rooms, you have a view of the bar. And that was really what the previous ownership wanted, including our cellar. Our cellar is glassed in, so you can see all of the wine. So we really didn't want to hide anything. We wanted everyone to feel comfortable. We also have an open kitchen, so we wanted really the bar and the kitchen to be visible to everyone in the dining room, and for both of those places to be the stage for the restaurant. And you enter, there'll obviously be someone to greet you. Pre-COVID, we'd probably let people sit at the bar, kind of relax, have a couple cocktails, and then go to their table. That reality has changed, but we'll get you to your table. And then, currently we offer a 5-course tasting menu as well as a la carte options for those that maybe aren't looking to do a tasting menu. And then on select days and select times, depending on the amount of business that we have in the restaurant currently, we offer also a 10-course chef's tasting. On top of that, we have a chef's table that is available. That chef's table will take place in the dining room, mainly because of COVID and spacing opportunities. But it'll be a completely new menu. It won't be anything that we currently utilize on our menu.
Got it. So a lot of what you've already described about Blood and Sand is unique. Is there anything else that you can kind of highlight that is a unique experience to your place?
I mean, quite frankly, in St. Louis, there aren't a lot of restaurants doing what we do. We have 26 cocktails on our menu. We change them seasonally, regardless of COVID. We've been changing them very regularly. Now, pre-COVID, we did a complete menu flip. What I mean is we'd have 26 and then there'd be 26 new ones. We're not doing that anymore just because, with traffic down, et cetera, it seems like a lot of work to maybe not yield as much ROI as what we'd want. We have over 500 wines in our cellar. So I think that at least on the beverage side of the business, I think we're definitely doing things that no one else here in St. Louis is doing on the scale that we're doing it. There's certainly wonderful cocktail bars here, don't get me wrong. But I can honestly say from top to bottom, every single one of our cocktails are not only very well vetted, but very well received. And if something isn't, it gets removed. So, and we move on to something bigger and better in regards to that particular cocktail or wine by the glass, et cetera.
Very good. Covered the drink portion right there. So tell us something on the menu that you would suggest that your first-time visitors should definitely try. So
my favorite dish on the menu right now is a pierogi. Now, you say pierogi and you think, oh, that's just really humble food, and which it is, right? I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be comforting. Our particular pierogi is classic in the sense of shape, classic in the sense of potato, not classic in any other sense. So it's going to have Gruyere stuffed in along with some black truffles, and then it's going to have buttered onions, and then we're going to have shaved black truffles on top. So that kind of makes it something different than your normal grandma's pierogi, if you will. A couple dishes that I have in front of me right now, actually. The first of which is this absolutely gorgeous scallop dish. I hope everyone can see that.
Yeah.
So this scallop dish is going to be some pan-seared diver scallops along with a parsnip and saffron velouté. We've got some fried root vegetables, pomegranate, and a sumac vinaigrette. So still autumnal in the sense that, you're getting your pumpkin, you're getting some pomegranates, you're getting your root vegetables. I've had a lot of people say when they have this dish, they're like, oh, when I think of scallops, I think of summer or spring. I don't think of something really super savory. You think of something super light. And chef was able to get these scallops to really lighten up the dish while still being hearty, which I thought was great. And it's definitely one of my favorites. The next dish is really kind of our house bread and butter, and that's going to be our burger. So you wouldn't be complete at a restaurant with the bar without having a burger. So the burger is going to be an Angus burger. We've got a bacon jam, obviously the accoutrement, arugula, tomato, house-made pickles, and then a truffle aioli along with a white cheddar sauce. So the burger's delicious. I don't eat a lot of burgers, but when I do eat a burger, I want to have our burger. And then our fries are cut fresh every single day. So we're not, buying big bulk bags of frozen fries and calling them our own. We actually do that ourselves in-house every day. So those are two dishes that I think are winners, whether you're sitting in the dining room or sitting in the bar and just want to have a relaxing meal.
Yeah, both those looked extremely delicious. So thanks for tempting us with those today. All right, so for people coming from out of town, obviously there's a lot to do in and around St. Louis. How about within maybe walking distance or maybe a short trip from where you guys are? What else is there to do close to you?
So we have the aquarium that just opened up in Union Station. So that is still open to the public as long as you're masked up. So they're obviously doing limited capacity. Union Station was one of the largest and first fully functional Union stations in the United States. It is a beautiful building. For someone that's been to New York a lot, that Grand Central Station is kind of that place that you're like, okay, I get it, right? Tons of movies are shot there. You totally get it. Our Union Station is, I think, second to none. It is absolutely beautiful. It is no longer receiving trains. Thank you, Amtrak. But it does still operate as a hotel as well as restaurants, and the aquarium is located there as well. So that's in walking distance. Pretty soon we're getting our own Major League Soccer team, so that's going to be in walking distance of the restaurant. We've got a few theaters that are in walking distance of the restaurant. Most of those things are going to be enjoyed post-COVID, if you will. But we've got, the Blues are super close to us, the arena there. We've got obviously baseball, Major League Baseball, about 15, 16 blocks from us. So we like to say we're on the outside of downtown while still being downtown. So you don't get all that kind of crazy hustle and bustle, all that foot traffic during Cardinals games or during hockey games, but you're still close enough that you can get there. And the greatest thing is that you'll usually find parking over here versus parking down closer to the stadium. Mm-hmm. So we always encourage people to come park here, stop in, have a couple drinks, whether it be a cocktail or beer, glass of wine, and then walk to whatever you're going to, and you'll have parking really close. So
nice, very, very good. For someone that's actually starting up in the restaurant industry, what kind of wisdom would you impart to them besides don't do it? Because that's what most people say.
I actually don't ever tell people don't do it. I always say go with your heart. Usually those are the most successful restaurants when the owner believes in a vision and is able to get investors to believe in that vision as well. So I would first say get investors. There aren't a lot of independently wealthy people out there anymore. So get investors, be passionate about it, but start small. So if, I always tell anyone that's starting a bar, or if I'm consulting on a new bar opening, I always tell people have 5 phases. Phase 1 is just like, okay, this is how much I need to get started. Don't expect to make any money. Phase 1, phase 2, probably even phase number 3. Phase number 4 and phase number 5 are kind of your wish list, your bucket list items that you really want. And usually that comes after, year 4, year 5. So be patient is probably also a very good word to the wise, because I think oftentimes people that are opening bars, they think, oh, well, I mean, yeah, bars make tons of money. And they might, if they're small neighborhood corner bars. I can tell you cocktail bars like Blood and Sand, although we're very successful, it's taken a lot of years to build the inventory and build the gravitas to then be able to turn a profit. Because, we've got over 600 bottles of just liquor on the back bar, and so you've got to find pricing models that work for your market as well. So those are kind of some ideas that I would give to people.
That's good stuff. Straight from the expert, people. Listen to what he says. All right. So there's some stuff that I'm sure we'd all like to change in life. What about you as it relates to the restaurant industry?
I think the number one thing is work-life balance. I think that's probably the number one thing I would change. I think for managers, we kind of live it every day, breathe it every day. If you're expecting to get days off, that's probably not going to happen, even if you're scheduled off. So I always, I always try to give my team some time away where they don't get bothered. Maybe I'm the one taking the brunt of everything else going on so they can have a work-life balance. But finding that for yourself, whether it be turning off your phone, and also ownership, understanding that that's important. Our ownership here understands that work-life balance is important, right? So they do their best or he does his best to try to give us that balance. It doesn't always happen for me because I'm a workaholic, but my other team members are able to find that time to kind of be away from the restaurant, even if they're hanging out with people that work here. They're away from the day-to-day stuff that goes on inside the building. So,
right on. That is important, people, as well. Tell us about what you love the most about being a restaurateur.
I think the hospitality part and the education part. So whether it be educating the guest or educating the team about, a particular beverage or a particular style of service or a particular item of food or even an ingredient in a particular dish. I think knowledge is really kind of is the key to making sure that you're going to be successful in the future. And, I understand that not every single person that works for me is going to work for me forever. So I want to make sure that I impart that knowledge so whenever they go off to do whatever they're going to do next, that they knew more than what they knew when they came in. And I think mentorship is just extremely important to make sure that not only the staff is successful, but there's, clear succession planning, that there's people wanting to move up. Maybe you start as a dishwasher and you see that there's an opportunity to work garde manger. Well, we're going to give you that opportunity because I think that that's really important. If you start out as a server assistant and we see something in you, maybe we'll get you some training shifts to be, a server. And same thing with the bartender. I have people applying all the time that want to be a bartender here, and I tell them, no one walks in here just being a bartender. That's just not the reality. I have like my bartender tonight is super well known, super successful in the market. And when he first started here, he started as a server. And a lot of people in this market, my peers, were like, really, Brad? That just doesn't seem right. And I'm like, well, that's the standard. And, he worked and he worked and he worked and he stuck with it. And now he's behind the bar. So, I think that mentorship and really kind of imparting knowledge are probably the most important things for me and what I love most about this job.
Oh yeah, pay it forward, as they say. Got a couple more before we wrap up today. Tell us about what you guys are involved with in the community and giving back. I want to make sure people understand how you guys are involved.
Yeah, so we give a percentage of sales to a few organizations, and I did not get their permission to mention those organizations, but we do that. We also do a program called Gift a Meal. So for every photo that someone snaps of a meal here, Gift a Meal will donate one meal in our name to someone in need, which we think is very, very important.
That's great.
We also do like different charity events throughout the course of the year, partnering with various beverage brands. So for instance, pre-COVID, we did a big Balvenie event and they donated $5 of every single cocktail to a local homeless shelter. So we try to remain involved. At the very height of COVID, when everything was shut down and it was just for pickup, we were providing free meals to all industry people. So you could call, we would provide you with a meal, no questions asked. And this was not like grilled cheese. I mean, it was like lamb meatloaf. It was wonderful food, something that would provide them with some sustenance while they were going through a hard time. And, we're quote unquote hoping that we don't all go under lockdown again here in St. Louis. But if that does happen, we're definitely willing to help out the industry because the industry's been very good to us, whether it be our distributor partners or our supplier partners or even my colleagues. So I find it extremely important to do the same. Right about a couple months ago, we started a guest bartending event where we would have a guest bartender come in on one Wednesday a month, and then they would donate part of the proceeds to a charity of their choice. Because COVID kind of got a little wonky there, we've slowed that program down, and we'll reintroduce that program hopefully in February or March, where we start doing that again. Because my ultimate goal is that this is going to be a program that not only Blood and Sand participates in, but we're going to rotate this through all of our great cocktail bars here in the city, so everyone can kind of have a piece of the pie. So
that is great. So people, remember, like when you're eating there, take a snap of the food so someone else can get a meal. That's pretty awesome. All right, as we're finishing up, we want to get a quick pro cooking tip that you can share with our viewers so they can make their food taste a little bit better at home.
One, I always say add a little salt. Add some seasoning, pepper, salt, that's key. Not too much, but add a little bit of seasoning. And then don't be afraid to experiment. So if you understand 3 or 4 different flavors, try putting those together and work on it. And don't give up the first time. It's just like making a cocktail. Maybe the first time it doesn't work, you try again. So I'm not one of the greatest cooks in the entire world, but I know when I do cook at home, I try to add something different in that particular dish and see if it works. And if it doesn't, okay, you know what, we're going to eat it anyway. But I definitely recommend them kind of trying some new things and breaking out of their comfort zone, because you never know what you're going to like.
That's right. Live on the edge. Try something new. We're glad that you were able to join us today, Brad, and talk about Blood and Sand. I wanted to let our viewers know that you can check them out online at bloodandsandstl.com, and you can find a whole lot of information there. While you're online, clicking around, you can also see us at dine.digital. That's our Instagram handle and our website. So give us some love too, guys. Is there anything that you'd like to give some final thoughts on, Brad?
We really do appreciate everyone that's been supporting all the restaurants all around the country during this super trying time, and continue to do that, because if you want local restaurants to survive, you have to go to them, whether in person or ordering curbside. If you don't feel comfortable leaving your house and that restaurant doesn't have a delivery service, buy a gift card, give it to a friend. It's the holidays. But thank you to everyone that's been supporting Blood and Sand. Thank you to everyone that's been supporting all of our St. Louis restaurants and restaurants that a lot of my friends work at all around the country, because without your support, we don't exist. So we definitely appreciate that and hope to see you soon.
Awesome. I echo those sentiments. Please support your local restaurants out there. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season. Thanks again, Brad, for joining us today, and we will see everyone else on the next episode of The Dish.
Cheers, Mark.